This girl is barefoot, watering flowers in the yard, when suddenly a black luxury sedan inexplicably stops behind her. A middle-aged man around 40 years old gets out of the car. He politely asks the girl if her parents are home, seeming as if he has some urgent matter to discuss with them. Seeing that the man appeared refined and well-mannered, the girl didn't think much of it. She stepped forward and truthfully told him that her parents had just gone out on some errands. But unexpectedly, at that moment, the man pulled a revolver from beneath a book and pressed it directly against the girl's chin, threatening her that if she made a sound, he would shoot her dead. Faced with this sudden situation, the girl didn't dare make any rash moves and could only obediently follow the man, quickly walking in the direction of his car. The girl never imagined that in broad daylight, someone would dare to act so brazenly. But it's too late to say anything now. Under the man's coercion, the girl had no choice but to obediently climb into the storage compartment as he instructed. As the lid of the compartment slowly closed, the girl's breathing began to quicken. After all, she was still young, and faced with such a sudden situation, she had no idea what to do. All she could do was let the man start the car and speed off in an unknown direction. At this moment, the girl felt nothing but despair and fear. She had no idea what awaited her next. Thinking about all this, the girl tightly covered her mouth and couldn't help but break down in tears. But just then, the car suddenly came to a stop. The man pulled a gun from his waist, abruptly opened the lid, and threatened the girl not to move, or else she would meet a terrible end. With that, he walked straight toward the trunk. Seeing an opportunity, the girl quickly looked around, searching for the best escape route. After making sure the man didn't notice, the girl got out of the car as quickly as possible and ran forward. A gunshot rang out, and the girl instantly collapsed to the ground. However, this was all just the girl's imagination, because she knew that in the open wilderness, running without any cover would only make her an easy target. Although the girl was only 15 years old, she understood that in the face of life and death, nothing was more important than staying alive. But unexpectedly, when the man returned again, he took out a pair of handcuffs and told the girl to put her hands out. This meant that trying to escape would be even more difficult. Next, the man used a collar.
Okay, mask.
He tightly gagged the girl's mouth. After finishing all this, the man told her to lie back in the box and then firmly tied her legs with rope. At this moment, the girl was like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered, but she didn't dare resist at all, fearing that she might anger the man and lose her life. The instant the car started again, the girl knew that everything was now up to fate. Not long after, the man took the girl to a relatively remote house, and it was there that he completely revealed his true nature. He slowly and deliberately untied the restraints on the girl, all the while repeatedly threatening her to behave and do exactly as he said.
Come.
15-year-old girl in the prime of her youth was kidnapped by a man. He not only forced her to call him dad every day, but also made her obey a series of his perverse demands. If she dared to disobey, he threatened her with a gun, making it clear that the weapon would show no mercy. His words were filled with blatant threats. As a child with little experience of the world, she could only agree to all of his demands through tears. Immediately after, the man ordered the girl to sit on the bed and asked her if, as a 15-year-old, she had ever done anything inappropriate with a boyfriend. After confirming that she hadn't, the man proceeded to unbutton his collar and shoulders, while also demanding that the girl lie flat on the bed. It's not hard to imagine the terrifying things that happened next. The girl was filled with fear, but could only comply. Meanwhile, on the other side, the girl's mother sensed something was wrong and called all of her daughter's classmates. All of them said they hadn't seen her. The woman knew that her child was always well behaved and that even if something urgent came up, she would always inform the family in advance. This unusual behavior made the woman wonder if something had happened to her daughter. With this thought, she hurried to the police station to report that her daughter was missing, hoping the police could help search for her. But unexpectedly, the police said that it hadn't even been 24 hours since she went missing. They directly rejected her request, even saying that her daughter might just be in a bad mood and wanted to hide away somewhere to be alone for a while, then left without another word. Faced with this response from the police, the woman felt very dissatisfied inside, but there was nothing she could do. Meanwhile, on the other side, the girl was sitting on the sofa in a daze with the man, her mind focused solely on how to escape. "You said, 'Good, my shirt.' Listening to this is just too hard to understand." The girl felt an intense sense of disgust inside, but she didn't dare show it at all. Moreover, she had to answer every question the man asked truthfully, one by one. The girl immediately realized she couldn't let things go on like this. Rather than just sitting there and letting him control her, it would be better to take the opportunity to learn more about him, so she could at least have some idea of what she was dealing with. So, the girl took the initiative to start a conversation with the man, and from what he said, she learned that he had only finished middle school. He had to drop out of school because he couldn't afford the tuition. After that, he served as a Navy sailor for 7 years, but for certain reasons, he was always stuck in the same position and could never get promoted, eventually being forced to retire with honors. Seeing how quickly the girl adapted to her role, the man left his seat, satisfied, unaware that the girl was actually trying to mislead him on purpose. Watching the man's figure gradually disappear into the distance, the girl suddenly came up with a bold idea. The girl knew that running away like this was extremely dangerous, but she was completely immersed in it and couldn't pull herself out. It wasn't until the man's voice sounded again that she was abruptly pulled back to reality. But what was even more troublesome was that the man actually forced her to smoke a cigarette. Having never done it before, she was immediately choked to tears. So the girl had no choice but to ask the man to demonstrate it for her. But unexpectedly, after one demonstration, the girl claimed that she hadn't seen it clearly at all and wanted the man to show her again. However, this time, what she got in return was his furious anger. After this incident, the girl once again suffered inhuman torment. She was so desperate that she even wanted to die, but when she thought of her parents anxiously waiting for her to come home, she immediately dismissed such thoughts. She secretly vowed that she must survive and escape from here, and also find a way to bring this utterly evil villain to justice. With these thoughts in mind, the girl lied and said she needed to use the bathroom. The moment she saw the bathroom window, her heart began to stir, and countless escape plans flashed through her mind. However, just as she was about to close the bathroom door, the girl ended this awkward act in a hurry right under the pervert's nose. Seeing that it was getting late, the perverted man took the girl with him to the kitchen to make something to eat. In order to gain his trust, the girl volunteered to help him out. Yeah, you can sweep the floor, just the kitchen. But the girl's real purpose in doing this was actually to look around and see if there was any information in the house that could be useful to her. Sure enough, she found business cards for the man, a family doctor, and a dentist on the refrigerator door. By repeatedly looking at them, the girl memorized the phone numbers on the cards. Then, she found a piece of Disneyland paper in a pile of miscellaneous items, and also noticed on the calendar that the perverted man planned to go home on the 16th. But just as the girl turned around, the perverted man, wanting to have a long phone call with his girlfriend, actually made the girl lie down inside a cramped box so she wouldn't make any noise and disturb them. Although the girl was extremely unwilling in her heart for the sake of her own safety, she had no choice but to comply. After that, the perverted man tightly fastened a collar around the girl's mouth, and as the lid of the box slowly closed, it wasn't long before the girl was suffocating and couldn't catch her breath. This action completely enraged the perverted man, but when he learned that the girl was making noise because she was having trouble breathing in the cramped space, he agreed to leave the lid open for her this time. However, the condition was that the girl must promise not to make any noise at all. Sure enough, when the perverted man returned again, the girl obediently did everything exactly as he instructed. Seeing how obedient the girl was, the perverted man looked very satisfied as he reached out and pulled her out, then took her to the bathroom to wash up. During those few short minutes, countless escape plans flashed through the girl's mind. As soon as the perverted man finished washing up and left the bathroom, the girl quickly rushed forward and locked the door behind him. An idea, but this method really wouldn't have worked either. So, under the perverted man's watchful eye, the girl obediently walked back to the room. To prevent her from escaping, the perverted man forced the girl's hands above her head and then tied them to the bed frame with a rope. He used the same method to restrain her feet. The girl slept through the night in a daze until the next morning. Seeing that the perverted man was still asleep, she suddenly had a bold idea. She decided to risk everything and make a desperate attempt to escape. The girl tried to bite the restraints with her mouth, but brute force was clearly useless. After carefully observing, the girl kept twisting along the threads, and finally, through her persistent efforts, she managed to unlock the clasp. She then quietly set the rope aside, slowly got up, and began to untie the restraints on her feet. She held her breath, not daring to make a single sound. The girl finally managed to escape. She ran forward as fast as she could, not daring to slow down for fear that the pervert would catch up and her life would be in danger. With the help of a kind person, the girl finally made it to the police station and reported the incident. At that moment, there was only one thought in her mind: to make sure the criminal was brought to justice. So the girl told the police everything she had experienced over the past few days. After the police learned her name, they found in the database that someone had come here to report a case 18 hours ago. So the police quickly called her parents and told them that the girl had been found. At this point, the girl was successfully rescued. Next, they all went together to identify the scene. With the girl's help, they managed to find the suspect's apartment, but they were still a step too late. The place was already deserted. During their search, the police also discovered a large box of girls' intimate clothing in the pervert's home, which clearly indicated that he had harmed countless innocent girls. In order to solve the case as quickly as possible, the police could only ask the girl to provide as many useful clues as she knew. Recalling her memories, the girl said that the man had honorably retired a few years ago, and the Disney stationery in his home was likely from the place where his girlfriend worked. She also managed to recite the phone numbers of the man's family doctor and dentist. And the Disney stationery at her home is very likely from the place where his girlfriend works, and it also included the phone numbers for the man's family doctor and dentist.
She's got a dentist as well. His name is Dr. Craig Nublin, and the number for that is 803-555-8562. 803-555-8562.
The girl's series of actions left everyone at the scene stunned. No one expected that a 15-year-old girl, under such extremely tense circumstances, could still remember all of this. So the police hurried to Disney to find his actual girlfriend to get more information, but after questioning her, she said she hadn't been in contact with him for the past few days. As a result, the police had no choice but to seal off all exits and check every passing vehicle one by one. Eventually, they found the perverted man near a motel, and a large group of police officers immediately rushed forward to surround him.
I said drop your weapon! Okay. Put down your weapon. Drop it! It's over!
To everyone's shock, the perverted man ended his life. When the girl learned what happened, she felt mixed emotions. The perverted man was dead, and she felt happy. However, because of this, she would never be an innocent girl again. Was it really fair to let the pervert die so easily? The girl felt deeply unwilling, because every time she went outside, she sensed people pointing fingers and whispering about her behind her back.
But only after I got to stare him down in court. You know, I made him face me.
But with the sheriff's constant reassurance, the girl eventually chose to let go. She needed to slowly adjust her mindset and let time heal everything. This film is based on a true story. Among all the girls imprisoned by the man, she was the only one who survived. The movie ends here. If you like me, follow me. See you next time.